So, my good friend, GreatDinn.
Hello.
As you may or may not know, in my spare time, I work as an insurance investigator for the East India Trading Company.
Is that so?
I haven't really had a lot of work for that in a while, but then this sort of job kind of rolled in.
Mm-hmm. Now, you may not know this about me, Spud, but I happen to be an actuary for the British East India Company.
Oh,
And,
well, that's gonna make this a lot easier then.
yes.
I find myself in a bit of a dilemma, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So I was called in to conduct an investigation of the Obra Dinn that just rolled in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, its crew all missing, lost for 4 years.
I do recall that ship, yes. You know, it's odd. I seem to recall getting a notification recently that I was supposed to receive a bunch of paperwork about this.
You know, it's funny. I was like, I had it all like set up, right? I had all my notes.
Mm-hmm.
I'd completed my investigation of the ship, its crew, its cargo. I had solved their rather complicated fates, all of them, to a man. And I was like, okay, it's been a long day. I will finish my report in the morning and send it off.
Mm-hmm. And then, may I take a wild guess based on the current date? You got caught up in New Year's, didn't you?
It was the new year, and there was a social event of some manner.
Of great import.
Yes, yes. And when I awoke today, I found that my notes were completely gone.
Cast into the sea, I imagine.
I don't know where I could have lost them on what part of my path, but I kind of need to go back to the Obra Dinn and reconstruct my notes.
Well, that's fine. I'll maybe with two people it'll go a little bit faster.
Like I'll level with you. There was a bit of guesswork involved, especially in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the clearest memory of a lot of the Obra Dinn, but I'm sure that some of the fates are simple to solve. The more complicated ones, I'll remember a few, and between the two of us, we should be able to wrap this up relatively quickly.
Hopefully so. That said, I do want to say this real fast. I am nursing something of a hangover. We might have to start with some basics.
Okay, well, let's
So first basic, how does time work?
I don't think that's as basic as... Let's just not worry about it. Time will work
as it should.
The way we need it to.
Okay.
Let's travel to the Obra Dinn. Lost at sea, the good ship Obra Dinn.
Built 1796, London, 800 tons, 18-foot draught. Captain R. Witterell, crew of 51 men. Last voyage to Orient, Cape Rendezvous, Uninet.
Unmet.
Oh, unmet.
They did not make their Cape Rendezvous.
Contact East India Company London office for enquiries or testimony.
So yes, this was the notice I had received at the London office where I work.
Mm-hmm.
It said, "Oh, the Obra Dinn just kind of drifted into Falmouth. Go in and check that out."
All right. I suppose we should do that then. At least you found this note again. Maybe we can find the rest of your note.
Said you'd need ferry to the Obra Dinn. Not many eager for that job. Seems a bit late if you ask.
I didn't.
Which company man, by the way? Was that Carl?
I don't know.
I think.
Hey,
Probably the delay might be ruining our time-based story, isn't it?
Or wibbly wobbliness.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Feels as though I'm reacting to everything 10 seconds after you actually do it.
All right. Well, let's get back on board this thing.
Goodness me, my hangover is much worse than I remember.
Yeah, vision might be affected. As a matter of fact, looking a little green there. Yes, the good ship Obra Dinn. It's been a little while. It's been a hot minute.
I actually really did want to play this game.
Oh.
So I'm excited to get to go through it with you.
Oh yeah.
You break character for a brief.
Yeah, I think we can loosen the charade a bit. Yeah, I played through this pretty soon after it came out when I was sick for a while, and it was just a wonderful way to pass a couple of days. I just devoured this thing really fast.
Ethereal says, "Evening Newbiespud, have a good New Year so far."
Yeah.
too heavy.
Yeah,
How's
it's.
that? Go ahead.
All right, let's go get our things.
I mean, the current meme running around the Discord is it's 2019 and we're already X, whatever X may be. Yeah, Aetheril, it looks like it's just us. For right
Yeah,
now.
I'm not expecting a whole bunch.
You know, 4 people watching, but who knows how many actual chatters.
It's just gonna be a real chill crossword puzzle kind of night.
Hey, it's Flamel.
So, Mr. Henry Evans was kind enough to send me a second book to work with.
Well, better not waste this paper.
Yep. So, we've got a map of the route, the tools at our disposal in this book. We have deck plans for the Obra Dinn, which sort of serve as, later on, a map of where to find all scenes. But also, I didn't notice on my first playthrough, also just labels the various rooms and offices of the officers of the ship.
That seems like it might be helpful.
Yeah, I completely missed this. And it was actually while, because I mentioned Loading Ready to Run was streaming this for Games of Chance earlier today, and I saw him look. He like I only saw him do just the very beginning, and I saw him looking over this map, and I was really like, wait a minute, it's just showing where all the officers hang out. Hold on a second.
Wait a moment.
Yeah. Anyway.
Goodness me, that's a pretty big miss. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that probably would have made my first run through a lot easier.
Skim through the entire book.
I pressed tab which would take you out of the book, and they're like, no. Really go over this. This is gonna be important. So we have an entire crew manifest, including all of the passengers and their roles. The key is gonna be matching faces to names.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have 3 sketches to work from. One of one of the ship getting underway, one of the foremost in royalty who became passengers, I believe, midway through the voyage, and then an execution for a crime, an execution at sea, and so every face of every soul that was on the ship during this voyage is represented here. And this is our primary tool for identifying everybody.
I see.
And the chapters themselves are blank until we find a way to fill them in.
Okay.
Except for Chapter 8, which will be the sort of the secret end game of this.
Okay.
So a small part of this story will remain unclear until the very end, just to sort of wrap things up. We have a glossary of terms to describe the nautical roles of all the men of the ship, and locations for those not in the know. And then this back here, this mysterious ominous symbol, that's just our progress tracker.
I see.
With the last bit sort of grayed out, representing the fates contained in the bargain chapter.
I see.
So in reality, we just have to get all the way around to where that spot grays at, which is about 56 fates. So, yeah. And now the other tool at our disposal.
The Memento Mortem.
And now the game truly begins.
Perhaps
yeah.
it's just me, but I am curious. If all you needed was a book and a watch, why did you bring 3 suitcases?
Good question, actually. There's a bunch of there's kind of an array of supplies on that boat. Maybe it's in case I need to stay longer to complete the investigation. But at any rate, let's get started with the first. You might say, ship that's been gone for 4 years, all the crew missing or dead. It'd be kind of difficult to figure out what exactly went down. But that's okay. I've just got a magical stopwatch that can replay the moment of a person's death. It's fine.
Ah, well, glad it's all simple then.
Yeah. That's all.
I mean, we've all been there.
Kick it in. Ah! Lest we break it down and take more than those shells.
You bastards may take exactly what I give you!
Well, that's quite rude. Are you... Oh. Oh.
I think you're being shot at.
No, I just happened to be standing in the trail of the bullet.
I see.
Oh, you can actually see blood particles extend out to where the fragments of the bullet land.
Goodness me. How vulgar. I guess we need to get CSI in on this.
We are the CSI.
Oh, right. Crap.
But, I think, at least in terms of what happened and who died and how, I believe this sort of speaks for itself.
Captain, presumably. Based on the fact that it is the fanciest room.
Yeah, it is the fanciest room at the top deck.
shooting a man's through the. I already forget if it's the chest or the head.
It was like through the heart, I think, actually. Or no, through the lung. Left lung. Right lung. Never mind. You know what? Just, I can't do directions.
A lung.
Who is this, and how did they die? Well, in the dialogue transcript, they were like, Captain, open the door. And they're like, we're going to kick it in or break it down. So, safe to say, this man, whoever they are, well, we don't know who they are because, and the game will tell you, you can't figure this guy's name out right now because his face is blurred.
To be fair, everything is a little blurry right now.
Yeah, but there's a stark difference between a portrait that is blurred and a portrait that is cleared.
All right.
Carry on and pay attention.
Okay.
So we don't yet know who this man is, but we do know that he was, of the options, not axed, not burned, not clawed, not clubbed, not crushed, not decapitated, not drowned, not eaten, not electrocuted, not expired, not exploded, didn't fall, didn't freeze, didn't fall ill, was not killed with a sword specifically, not knifed, not poisoned, not speared, not spiked, not strangled, not struck, not suicided, not torn apart. This guy was shot with a gun, and with any fate that involves an attacker's identity, you also need to add they were shot by an enemy, combatant, or a beast, or one of the crew.
Shot by a bear.
Damn crafty bears.
I would like to point out that in that list, he definitely did expire, and he definitely was torn apart, just in a very small specified location.
Yeah.
And you could argue that he fell ill of lead poisoning. It was just a very brief and sudden burst of it.
I believe if you pick expired, it goes on to clarify from old age.
Yeah, old age or potentially like heat stroke kind of thing. Yep, expired from old age. Well, to be fair, he did live as long as he could.
You could also, there's also the option to choose to say that no, they actually survived and they're on the Canary Islands or something.
Oh, good.
But no, we know this guy's fate. He was shot with a gun by Captain Robert Witterell.
Ain't it a shame? The good captain.
So yeah, it's well, actually, right in the base, like almost the clavicle, the base of the neck.
Oof. That is a nasty wound. That's got to be like spine.
That's oh yeah, almost out. Kind of came out offset on the behind the right shoulder. So through below the neck, out the right shoulder. Yeah, you're falling down and you're not really getting up.
No, unfortunately not.
Also, small hidden detail. This guy is making a move.
Well, he's got a knife in his teeth, so must be a friendly chap.
Yeah. This is going to end well for all parties involved.
I think you are 100% correct.
So, the location of the corpse part of the book is mostly to kind of reference and be like, oh, okay, if I want to revisit this scene another time, that's where the corpse is, where that scene is. And then 3 others were present in this scene. The captain, there was our victim, there was his buddy, and his other buddy. So, pretty significant amount of data between, you know, who else was around, dialogue. you know, not all of it like decisive data, but this one's pretty generous as these go. But
Well, as my favorite books say, once you've eliminated the impossible, whatever's left, however improbable, is clearly the answer.
there is a bit of that. Fortunately, seeing is believing. Oh, and another note, now that we have played the memory where these doors open, the doors are now open to us.
Oh, good. More time shenanigans.
Yeah. There are some doors that can be just straight up opened on their own, but others will not budge for us.
Good to know.
Eventually, we will have as a complete run of the ship as necessary, but this is sort of the game's way of segmenting these things out.
Yeah, I suppose information overload would be a real problem in a game like
Oh yeah,
this.
if you just jumped on the ship with it in hand and just
every door open, just no questions. It'd be like starting a Sudoku puzzle with one number.
Yep.
Where are they? Must be in here someplace.
They're at the bottom of the sea.
That's a lie.
I better get on my tether cravat.
Well, this did not end well for this guy.
I mean, that's mild. It's a very mild way of putting it, my friend. Well, must have been pretty recent. Well, by comparison to the shooting.
Yep. This is the continuation of storming the captain's quarters. The mutiny at the end of a very long journey.
I mean, I've been on some bad boats. It could be a mutiny at the very start.
Well, I mean, we're in the end chapter. The chapter labeled The End.
I'm certain you've read some books that started at the end.
I mean,
It's called In Medias Res, Spud.
that you could also say that this is where this story begins as well. All right, so safe to say, Fate is knifed by Captain Robert Witterell. And okay, so this particular guy, this might be one of the ones I remember because he's rather prevalent throughout the story of the Obra Dinn, and you kind of have to figure him out by process of elimination. But I think for now I won't put that name in, and we'll just once we get some more progress in, I'll start being like, so these are the ones I remember proper or are reasonably confident in.
Okay. Understandable.
All right. So I'm gonna start speeding up now, just going through bodies.
Oh, hey, a knife.
Oof. Sorry, the radio plays here. Could hear our previous victim's gurgling throat.
Oh, joy.
Our captain has taken a knife to the kidney.
Expired like weak old Chinese, and then knifed like weak old Chinese. Sorry, I quite enjoyed Flame's comment there. Yeah, no, the captain has definitely been stabberoonied.
But Captain got him back with just this completely badass counter.
Is braining in there? Is braining in the list?
That's pretty brained. Like the moment of impact, his skull is being like stretched back a little bit. Looks like.
That's yeah. To sort of break again. If it weren't for the fact that everything's a little bit low poly, this would probably be like super gross.
Oh yeah. It does help conceal a bit of the. Oh, and there is no dialogue for this scene because it's just gargling and grunting and one final smack. So Corporathral is right, though a little bit ahead of things. The correct answer is clubbed. That is the catch-all term for death by
Bludgeoning.
Bludgeoning.
You'd figure bludgeon would be in there. That feels more appropriate for the time period.
Clubbed is.
I mean,
I don't know,
like
more of a layman's term.
It is more of a layman's term, but I don't think, insurance man, learned man of the 1800s is gonna use clubbed. That feels more like what the sailors would say. That's what I'm feeling.
Yeah, that's true.
But I don't know. That's an assumption. I'm a person from 2018. Oh no, the charade is broken.
2019, actually.
Oh God, you're right.
Gotta remember, make sure not to sign the next document you've got with 18.
Well, all of my bills have been sent out with 2018. Oops. Kidding. I paid all my bills a week ago just to avoid that, actually.
So now this door is open. And we have not one but two corpses in here. Let's start with this one.
Aw, it's a very happy skeleton.
Your brother, my friend. I shot him dead. I'll be with you soon, my love. Please forgive me for everything.
Well then, Aetherol, I hope you enjoy, because this is everything I've seen about this has been friggin' amazing.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. Even more of a fan than I was of Papers, Please, honestly.
Papers, Please.
I honestly couldn't really get into Papers, Please.
It
was a bit too stressful and reminiscent of my times as a retail cashier.
Yeah, understandable. I also had trouble getting through it, but more because it just like tore at all of me.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, this
That's,
game's really cool.
Yeah. And I do agree, Aetherol. It like visually, it is very reminiscent of Magic Circle.
Yeah, I never thought of that comparison before, but so this scene here is probably the most like helpful dialogue in the entire game. Just like, Abigail, your brother is the one I shot just moments ago. Also, if it isn't clear by now.
Abigail, your brother, my friend. I shot him dead. Admittedly, it'd also be a bit weird if it was, I shot him alive. Don't know how you did that, but...
On live television.
Oh, goodness.
Decisive information is rare. That's a slight understatement. Good luck.
The first 5 will be easy. The other 55 will be difficult.
All right, so Captain Robert Witterall suicided by gun, or shot himself. This may or may not be correct. So this is the middle ground between guesswork and needing to know your stuff. You need to it verifies in groups of 3, and that's name and fate, and attacker if need be. So we can be reasonably confident about this, but until we get 2 more complete entries that are correct, it will not verify.
All right.
How much you want to bet that one stray bullet that landed in the hold killed someone? Now that one had gone through the other guys.
That one had been slowed down by at least one person.
Yeah, it was. You could see the arc. It was not. It was trailing particles, and you could see that its arc was very much slowed down.
Yeah,
which was kind of cool. Which was kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure it hurt whoever the bullet landed on, because those things are not friendly. But I don't think it was going at speed to kill someone at that point.
Also, just gonna, as a mild spoiler, not sure who else was on the ship at this point.
Yeah, I mutinies don't tend to happen when everybody's there and doing fine. In my experience, in my many years sailing a ship.
Considering that Captain Witterall's suicide is the last entry before the glossary, he was the last man standing.
Only person who could take down Captain Witterall was Captain Witterall.
Yeah, you don't get the big hat by falling easily in battle.
That's true.
But
Do we know for certain if he was the captain before the ship?
Did he have a maritime promotion?
That happened a lot.
I guess we'll find out. That would have been a real interesting twist. Probably would have made things pretty confusing, though.
It definitely would have. In my many years being mutineered against.
So, this person was already dead. To answer the question, this person was already dead in this bed before he killed himself. Oh boy, what a trail.
Woof. I know 3 men isn't enough to really run a boat, but what did they think cutting the crew size down even further by removing the captain was going to do?
So we now have all the entries of this chapter, which is 4 deaths.
I see.
Now we have this 5th body. And now the game truly begins.
I'm going to take a wild bet that we know exactly who she is. Is the storytelling non-linear? A little bit.
It's segmented. Oh.
Ah. I've seen this anime. Pirates of the Caribbean 2, I think.
Ah, my favorite anime.